Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are here for another exciting webinar for Farmcraft. And as you can see, we have some guest speakers with us today. So that's the best part. Sorry, Eric. I always love when we have guests on. You and I, we do this all the time.
Every time.
Yes, welcome. Glad to have you joining us. My name is Claire LeBeau. I am Chief Advancement Officer at NASEF, the Network of Academic and Scholastic Esports Federations. And we are really excited to always partner with Clever Like Studios on Farmcraft and on these challenges. And we're lucky to have Eric joining us.
Thank you so much. So I'm Eric Leitner. I'm the education content producer for Clever Like Studios. Again, we always say our motto over here is, we take the games we love and the students love, and we sneak in the vegetables. And Claire, this is usually where I will say, I can't believe we are X amount of distance through Farmcraft season X. And I've just decided we have to stop doing that with every intro. So there's a lot of Farmcraft.
There's a lot of Farmcraft.
That's all I have.
There's a lot of fun and a lot of learning that has been happening for years. So we're really lucky to have a teacher and some students joining us. And so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Noah.
I'm Ariana.
I'm Andy.
Hi, I'm Miss Overdorf.
Excellent. Well, so good to have you all. And your school is?
Terrace Community
Middle
School.
There you go. I like
that. CMS, so.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Thank you for telling us the full name because we wouldn't have known what the letters stood for. Excellent. All right. And so we just want to hear a little bit about your experience with Farmcraft and with Minecraft. So Mrs. Overdorf, maybe we'll start with you. Why did you start participating in Farmcraft, and why do you think Minecraft's a good education tool?
Well, I started with Minecraft EDU doing some other already built lessons, like some AI or Hour of Code through the Minecraft. And I heard about NASEF and then saw that the Farmcraft had a competition. And my students really like Minecraft. They like it. They play it by themselves anyway. And so it was easy to bring it into the classroom. But I kind of opened it up to them and said, guys, I really have no idea about Farmcraft. I've never done it. And do you want to try? And they were very excited about trying. So when I saw it available, I basically left it up to the students, and they were all in on participating in Farmcraft.
Yeah.
Yes, very much.
That sounds to me, I had an experience when I was in elementary school, so a very, very long time ago, and it was bad weather. And our teacher said, do you all still want to go on this field trip today that we're supposed to go on? And of course, all the students were like, yes, we want the field trip. That sounds a little bit like when you ask your students if they want to do something in Minecraft, they are all going to say, of course we do.
They were very...
Yeah. And so, they love it and it's engaging, but how do they learn? Do you feel like they're getting the principles that they should be?
As a teacher, you do worry about that, especially like the perception of, well, what are they doing in your class? They're just doing Minecraft. But with the Farmcraft, they do have the build challenges that lead up to it. We found those too late. So my next go round, we're definitely going to do the build challenges. But so we came into the regular season. But even in the class, when they're doing the lessons, there's always something that they can learn. In Farmcraft, it is about the different crops. And I'll let these guys tell you what they found when you talk to them later. They were able to learn different things about the different crops. But even it's just what I think a lot of employers call soft skills. How do they talk to each other? How do you communicate? How do you have good teamwork? So they are having fun and learning, but at the same time, they're learning how to work with somebody else, because we like to think, yes, you have to know your own material, but when you get out into what people call the real world, you do have to work with other people, and you do need all of those soft skills. And Minecraft, I just see it building no matter what we do in Minecraft.
Yeah, that's excellent. So I should comment, we're hosting this live stream in the middle of a season, but we have done a land demand season before. And so these students participated in the last semester, and now they're sharing their experience with us. So we'll go ahead and just ask you a little bit about your experience. So students, first off, what grade what grade are you in, and what was the context for doing Farmcraft? Like, what were you learning about when you jumped into Farmcraft?
I don't know. I can't remember.
So
That was like that was a whole quarter ago.
Yeah, go ahead, Ariana.
so right now we're in 8th grade, and like I remember she showed it to us, and we weren't exactly sure what it was about. But then we learned it was like about like learning about agriculture and something along that line. Then we started doing the game, and we slowly like started to understand what it was about.
At first, I thought it was like an open world thing. I didn't think it was like an actual thing, like who can make the best like automatic farm. So I went into my own world and started building that. I didn't know it was a like pre-built map.
Right. Yeah. And when you do the full season, so when Mrs. Overdorf does this next time, you do have the opportunity to do both. You can go in and build. We have very specific challenges, and we'll get to see an example of what someone built for one of those in a little bit. But then we also have that pre-built world that you described. And so when you're playing in it, you're learning specific things that are part of our objective.
So we were kind of in the middle of coding and just a little bit of game design when we jumped in. So that's when I found it, and we kind of weaved it into what we were doing. So we didn't do it. We did it on like certain days, especially when the webinars came out or the live streams came out. We would watch the live stream, and the next day we would be like, "Oh, did you see the live stream? So this is what we have to do next in the competition."
You know, one of the things I'd like to get back to real quick in form of a question for the students, and you mentioned this, Ms. Overdorf, and that is the soft skills, right? Like, how do we communicate? What are our best practices? How do we tackle an issue, communicate about it, come up with better strategies, and then tackle it again? So for the students, what were your strategies? Like, how did that process work out for you? Because you mentioned you didn't know there was a prepackaged sort of world with, pre-made. So the first time you went in there, you might not have had any strategy whatsoever, just had to figure out what was going on. And then as you played it, how did that strategy develop?
Yeah.
Well, I remember like Noah, you like realized that it was pre-built, and then you like watched a bunch of videos on like good tactics.
I was the one who like watched all the live streams and ended up informing them. I think he watched.
I watched
two of them. You watched two of them, yeah.
Yeah, it was for like the last final challenge.
I watched like all of them just to like get an idea of what we're doing. So at least I had some idea of what we were gonna do before we like jumped into the world. And so we, like you said, there was really no strategy. It was just doing like the entire thing through the tutorial, finish the tutorial really quick and just do it. But then like as strategies developed, we were like, okay, what's the specific goal for this challenge, and like what should we do to achieve that? So like just like everyone focus on farming or cotton or wood,
Like
and
we were assigned our jobs.
like what do we need to do?
The jobs that I remember is that so Noah was the one getting us all the upgrades for the stuff. Then processing all of the stuff we've collected. Ariana was the one that started planting all the seeds, and then my job was, since it was cheap, I would buy the drone so we won't have to deal with all the pests and weeds and stuff.
It was basically us two working on the farms.
Money wasn't really a problem for us because it was very easy. Yeah, like Andy said, I was just focused on like getting the milestones to get like more like plots available to increase our farming capacity.
You know, and for those who are just tuning in and this is your first Farmcraft season, I hope you are listening, because we're doing world launch at the next one, which means if it's your first time doing it, you're going to have access to exactly what they're talking about. And they just gave you some really good advice. So
yeah, I love the divide and conquer, because otherwise, I mean, everything just goes crazy, right? And you're not actually making progress towards your goal. How did you decide who would do what? Did it just happen naturally?
Sort of, yeah.
I mean, I think Noah had like a better understanding, so he did the milestones.
And when we got all 4 farms from the milestones, like Ariana would take 2 of them, and then I would take 2 of them, so it'd be like evenly divided between the 2 of us.
Yeah, like they would go more specific into the specific challenges, and I would just try to get us all the upgrades.
Really good strategy. I think we might want to just replay this interview after we release the world too. Yes, this is excellent advice that you all are.
I'm going to put that in the guide. Go see timestamp. What time is it right now?
Right, exactly. That's perfect. So you competed in a global event. What does that impact you at all when you're realizing there are other kids in different parts of the world doing the same thing you are? Is that interesting to you? Is that fun?
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was like it was like you like really wanted to do it, and like so you were better and you could just like win. It was kind of stressful at first because we were like all trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've given a ton of tips, but do you have any other tips for people who are signing up and joining right now and they're going to start playing in that world? Any additional advice you want to add?
Don't hop around on the
planes. Don't jump on the planes. Don't jump. I've done that a bunch of times.
That's a good real world tip as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're watering fertilizer, get right to like 300 or whatever the like it says it's low, then that's when you want to do it so you don't ruin the climate as much and so you spend less money. And for the fertilizer, do the like the min-max thing, but try to use the compost you get from the trees as much as you can.
That sounds like some good real world advice also, Eric. It's almost like Farmcraft teaches what happens.
It's working. It's all coming together.
That's fantastic.
To teleport the tablet. That was very helpful.
Yeah, that's one that not everyone figured out right away too. So this is again all good advice for those who are going to be entering that world next week, as they get to that point, or in 2 weeks rather.
Exactly. Yeah. Mrs. Overdorf, do you have any suggestions or comments for teachers who are starting this for the first time?
Just do it. Like, don't be afraid, because you do as a teacher get nervous because you don't know how to do it. You don't know what you're doing. You've never done it before. As teachers, we want to know everything before we start. We want to have stuff planned out for the kids. It doesn't matter. They had a blast. And not only that, they learned so much teamwork, and we just, like the kids said, we just started it and we didn't really know about a pre-planned world or what they were supposed to be doing, but we all learned as we went, and the kids are okay with that. The students are okay with you saying, I don't know, but let's try to learn together. I only have 3 here, but I had classfuls of students who were ready to go and be okay with, hey, let's see what happens next and let's watch this live stream and do this. So I wouldn't be afraid as a teacher to start. Do it, and the students will love it.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So we're gonna kind of hop back a little bit because we've been talking a lot about the custom world, and that's about to be released. But in the meantime, we are in the midst of some build challenges. So you all will be learning something new because you haven't participated in this part. But Eric, I know that there is a video that we want to share. So our build challenge number 2 was called Growing Into Your Clothes, which I just love the names that you came up with for all of these.
I can't help it. Honestly, I can't help it. I'm just going to lean into it. But yeah, that challenge was very specifically about understanding. And to be honest, it's the first Farmcraft challenge we've ever had of any kind that wasn't about food. It was the very first one that was not about food, right? So it was about, what are the crops grown that we use for other purposes? And specifically in this purpose, it's for clothing and textile and things like that. So I did want to share one of the really good entries we got. This is from a team in Georgia. That is the state of Georgia, not the country of Georgia, because we get participation from everywhere. Right. And this is, look at this name. I feel like they must have entered the competition for just in time for challenge 2, because their name of their team is the Fabric Friends. So it's like perfect. So let's take a look at their entry. This is Fabric Friends from the state of Georgia, United States.
Hello, and welcome to the Fabric Friends Farm. We are a team from the Grayson Technical Education Program located in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and we will showcase the growth, production, and research behind our organic fabrics. Many fabrics come from farms, but cotton is one of the most widely produced in Georgia and plays a major role in textile manufacturing. Cotton fabric is valued for its softness and lightweight feel against the skin, making it comfortable for everyday wear. Historically, cotton has been central to Georgia's economy since the mid-19th century. However, its dominance declined in the early 1900s with the arrival of the boll weevil, an agricultural pest that devastated cotton crops and created serious economic hardship for farmers who relied solely on cotton.
Some foreshadowing right there.
Unlike food crops, cotton is grown primarily for profit rather than consumption. It has earned the label of the world's dirtiest crop because it requires heavy pesticide use and significant irrigation, both of which can degrade soil health over time. Another important textile is linen, which comes from flax, a flowering plant used to produce breathable, comfortable fabric well suited to hot and humid climates. Linen is often considered hypoallergenic, making it a safe and comfortable option for people with sensitive skin. However, flax presents challenges for farmers. The plant is tough, wiry, and fibrous, making harvesting more difficult. It is also vulnerable to fusarium wilt, a soil-borne disease that gradually weakens and damages the plant. Unlike food crops that are cut at harvest, allowing roots to remain in the soil and decompose, enriching it for future planting, flax must be pulled completely from the ground, roots and all, to preserve the full length of its fibers. After harvesting, the flax is laid out to dry before being transported to a processing facility. After cotton is harvested, the cotton is compacted and transported to a cotton gin facility. The cotton gin was invented by Eli Whitney in the late 18th century, significantly speeding up the process of separating seeds from the cotton fibers. After the cotton gin separates and cleans the fibers, it is then twisted into yarn using spinners. A processing machine for flax extracts the long, inner fibers from the woody cores. The clean, spinnable fiber is then woven into fabric or a textile. Although cotton and flax are the dominant crops for textiles, plants like bamboo or hemp are also used for fabric. However, extraction from these plants may be less industrial and may take more handwork. Various tools are used for extracting these fibers. They are first cut out with an extraction tool, hammered in order to break into the stalk, and then scraped in order to separate the fibers. Additionally, they may be combed to further stimulate the fibers. Both cotton and linen production is significant to Georgia's economic reliance on agriculture, and not just in the form of food production. Together, these crops highlight the balance between economic importance, environmental impact, and agricultural changes in the production of farm-based fabrics. And on behalf of the Fabric Friends team, thank you for watching.
All right, so I have a confession to make. And I mean this in the form of even all of us, you know, sometimes Brian joins us and we have so many different people on these calls and on these chats, and we all learn something new. I didn't know until this year, because of Farmcraft, that linen came from flax. I thought it was just a different way to process cotton. I had no idea.
Huh? Well, I didn't know. I wrote down linen is hypoallergenic. I didn't know that either. So we both learned something from this group. Yeah. That is, I love that submission, because there was so much information that they conveyed in both in the narration of the video and then also in their build itself. And what a great example of taking and doing following exactly the rubric and submitting that. Well done to that team, the Fabric Friends. I love it. I love it.
You could also tell that the narration was pre-planned, right? It wasn't talking about everything kind of as they saw it. It was very pre-planned, right? Organized, well recorded. So it was very clear to hear what they were talking about. There weren't a lot of ums and uhs, which I do a lot of. I'm not going to lie. Right? I just did one. But we watched so many of them, and not that there's anything negative about showing us something and talking to or presenting on the thing that you're showing, but taking the time to process your ideas, making sure that they make sense, always ends up being a better production.
Right. Exactly. Well done. Well, we do have a new challenge that we're discussing this week.
A new challenge.
And this one is, would you believe we can grow a home? So,
I promise this is the last pun for the season, I think.
It is not. No, it better not be. We love your puns, Eric. We love your puns.
All right. If you're here for the puns, stick around.
Absolutely, always here for the puns. So humans have been using plants to build homes for thousands of years. It could be wood, it could be straw, but there are a lot of materials that come from nature. So one of the things that we want to explore in Farmcraft this year, we're looking at food and clothing and shelter. As Eric said, for the first time, we've always only looked at food before, but now we're looking at all three. So Eric, do you want to go ahead and walk through what this challenge includes this time?
Absolutely, yeah. So again, very similar to before, we want you to design a farm, but this time consider the things that are obviously grown in your area, but also consider the things that are in Minecraft that would best represent that. Like, what are the things that are grown to build homes? And consider regionality as well, because yes, we often think of things like wood and where do we get wood from? wood is not the only grown material used for shelter. It's not the only one. And in fact, I can think of, at least 2 that are in Minecraft that don't fall into that category that are absolutely in there. And that's just in Minecraft, not even in the number of real world examples that exist out there that we would love to see you represent in your build.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Do you want to show us where we can find the guide and the
I
challenge?
feel like they know, but we're going to tell them anyway because, tell them what you're going to say it, and then tell them what you said.
Exactly. So we are at nasef.org/farmcraft, our very favorite webpage ever.
Yeah. I know, right? How often do we go here? More often than probably any other site I go to. But yes. This is the Farmcraft page. And if we scroll down, right, again, it's not too late to register. As in fact, the team that's joining us told us, right, they registered in the previous season a little bit late, but they were still able to participate and compete. So it's never too late to hit that register button, get your adult sponsor to register your team and get started. And if you don't know how to get started, there's a team guide for that. And that's available right below that registration button. Additionally, the team here at CleverLike is offering free access to our LMS. So if you need this more kind of broken down into step-by-step instructions, you have access to all of that. That is for teachers or students. There is an onboarding guide that will show you how to get access to that as well, or how to get started with it rather, and as well as a guide for accessing the platform so that you can gain access to it. And if you want to see what that looks like, I'll show you in just a bit. But of course, additionally, there are the challenge guides. And sure enough, there is the challenge now for build challenge number 3. Would you believe we can grow a home? And here you will find the challenge guide, as well as that same guide translated into Spanish and French. Just below that, there are the previous recordings from our previous streams. And of course, this one, after it is done, will be up here as well. And then finally, you'll see a submit challenge button down here where you can go ahead and once you know what that challenge is, submit your entry right there. And you'll find those links in the guides and things like that as well. And you'll also find them on our LMS. So let's take a look at what that looks like. And this is the exact same thing in the LMS. And if you're joining late, this is a good opportunity to kind of catch up because it will take you sort of step by step through everything you may have missed if you're trying to catch up and make sure all your entries are in. Because it's not too late to even get that challenge 1 or that challenge 2 entry to make sure that you qualify for prizes. Claire loves when we say prizes.
I do. Am I the only one that loves prizes?
No. I just know that's your thing. So I didn't want to, take it totally away from you.
Thank you. We do have prizes. So we have first, second, and third place for both the junior division and the senior division. And yes, thank you for pulling those up. So we do have a $250 prize for first place, $200 for second place, and $100 for third place. And then as before, we're also doing a raffle, a random draw for submissions because we know some of you are just getting started and maybe you're not quite to the point of getting one of the top placements, but we're still glad to have you all here. So we'll do that raffle as well. So there's a little carrot for you if the prize is the thing that makes you do your best.
Yep, absolutely. And again, just going back into the LMS, you can see Preseason Challenge 3 is live, and here it is broken into pieces. So starting with what is the challenge going to cover, and then presenting the prompt for the challenge, going through the details of how to present it and what additional information the students might want to know or need to know as they dig into that opportunity, doing the research, and of course, how do we finish up our project and submit it? So all of that is there. And then, of course, as we mentioned, this is coming on the next one already. Here we are. Yeah. So the competitive world will be available by the next time you see us.
Exactly. And just to remind you also, we shared a video submission today, but last time we did a stream, we shared a blog submission. And so both are appropriate ways to submit your build and to share with us what you learned in your research, which is the foundation for the build that you create. Now I have all of the words, foundation, carrots, all the farming words are coming out. Excellent. All right, so that is what we're doing. So this next challenge is would you believe that we can grow a home? And so you can get all the details that you need for that there. And let's see, any last minute tips that you want to share, Eric, for this?
Any tips for the build?
Any tips for this, for the build? For yes.
One, obviously, we saw a really good example, and I did mention, obviously, really considering what you are saying in the voiceover of a video submission. The other one, and I don't have Minecraft open, that we always talk about, and yes, we did see it in one submission, and that's okay, is I've played a number of, first person games. And when you want to point something out on your screen, you have this tendency to want to take your mouse and zip it around a bunch. But if that's also controlling your camera, it makes it really hard to actually see what you're showing us. So make sure nice, steady views of the things you want us to see.
Right, exactly. And just a reminder, those challenge guides are available both at the nasef.org website in 3 languages, and then in the Clever Like School LMS as well. So I just want to say again, thank you so much, Mrs. Overdorf, and to your students, Andy, Ariana, and Noah. So great to have you here. I'm sure your school is going to be proud of you that you were able to join this. So thanks for joining, and I'll ask you the same question. Any last minute words for people who are watching?
It's worth the fun.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck to everyone.
Excellent.
I love that my students watch the past live streams. So if they have time, they even watched past seasons live streams. So and they did that by themselves, and I love that they took that initiative, and it seemed to help them. So that would be a tip.
Okay. That's awesome. And also you got to see my beard change in length back and forth a few times, changing color, that's
like, sure, you get the money if you win, but if you don't, it's fun. Yeah, I would still do it even if there wasn't a prize.
I love that.
That's awesome. I agree.
We're going to put a quote right on the top of nasef.org/farmcraft. Just that.
Just do it, whether you get the money or not. All right. Well, we are going to give you a sneak peek now into the custom Farmcraft world. And so we'll sign off with this. So again, thank you for joining us so much today, and we will see you on the next stream. You know what? I am signing off. And before I do that, I just want to make sure that I say, here is when the next stream is. Okay. So March 18th, we will see you here. So thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.